Hi, my name is Haley, and today I'm going to be running Lab 3.1, which is the Wettability Lab. Hopefully by going through all of the procedures, it makes your experiment at home a little bit more easy. First, I'm going to start by going over all the materials and how I set up the experiment at home. Prior to starting the experiment, ensure that you have all necessary materials and an appropriate setup. So an example of my setup, before separating the PDMS components or scratching the glass slide, can be seen in the picture. A piece of grid paper was placed over a piece of printer paper, which was then labeled with the different materials to be tested. Gloves or tweezers must be used since the oils on your fingertips can affect the results by affecting the hydrophobicity. Personally, I would use gloves since red food dye will be handled. The drops will be placed on each slide with a pipette. The unscratched glass slide and Rain X slide can be tested as is. The Rain X slide is treated on each side, so it does not matter which side is treated. The PDMS slide has two hard plastic components surrounding a soft plastic similar to a contact lens. The procedure to separate these pieces will be shown in this video. The scratch glass should be scratched as described in the notes. 30 seconds of circular clockwise motion, 30 seconds of circular counterclockwise motion, 30 seconds long ways forward and backward, and 15 seconds in the shorter direction. So to test the PDMS, you're going to take this slide right here, which you can kind of tell is different than all the others and has different layers. And you're going to take off the two outer layers of the harder plastic to get like the softer plastic inside that was like the contact lens. So it's a little bit hard to do at first, especially with gloves. However, you can kind of peel it away like a sticker. And there's one of your pieces. See, it's a little bit harder. And you're only going to need one of these hard pieces to test. And then you're also going to use the contact-like substance that's in here. So you're going to peel that away from the other harder plastic, which you only need one of. And there you go. This one is a lot softer, this one is a lot harder, and you can tell pretty easily. And then you just set it out on your paper, as shown in the previous part of the video. So hopefully you can see this pretty well. It's kind of backwards from how you're going to see the picture. Here's Rain X, PDMS with the hard and the soft, regular, and scratch glass. So basically, all you're going to do is you're going to take your pipette, which has the red food dye coloring, going to hold it about an inch above each slide, and you're going to drop one drop. And make sure that the pipette is straight up and down. And yes, your hand is going to shake a little bit, but there's one droplet. And you're going to want to drop 6 drops. So do it around. Ooh. And if you make mistakes, that is okay. Just try not to. You want to make have about the same size drops each time. So this one was a little bit less in it. So I'm going to get a little bit more solution. Okay. There we go. And I'm going to keep doing that. So here's the hard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then on the soft, you want to do the same. So again, you want to try and keep it straight up and down, about an inch away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you just keep doing that for each and every slide. And then you can kind of see the difference already. So here's the scratch slide. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, that one ran together. 5, 6. And then for the regular slide, you're also going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So again, it's not going to be perfect. Like for the scratch slide, it all started running together because it didn't want to clump into one clump. These other ones clumped a little bit better. And I'm going to actually take a picture of this specifically so we can run it through Image J. And then I'm also going to have to take a selfie with it because that's what you have to do for the lab. From the data that I generated, you can clearly see the difference between the materials and how the red food dye and water actually attach to the material. So the scratched one is a little bit of a mistake. However, that was due to the fact that every time I dropped a droplet, it would not collect. It just kept dispersing. So I'll also upload what my pictures were last semester just to kind of show that it wasn't quite as dispersed last semester, but it is supposed to be the most dispersed. Regular was more dispersed than the others, however, it was not as dispersed as the scratched, and you're going to use the data that you generate to figure out which one is the most hydrophobic and which one is the least hydrophobic. As promised, here are the results from last semester. They aren't perfect as well, however you can see that the scratch didn't actually run into each other. So basically the way to avoid running the dots into each other is just to make sure that there is adequate space in between. I thought I was leaving enough space, but it dispersed more than it had last semester, which was surprising to me. So I did better on the last two. Just leave more space initially and you'll do perfectly fine. Before you dispose of your slides, make sure you take a selfie with them and upload the selfie to Canvas to show that you actually did the experiment.